I was semi-aware of this movie. I didn't actually watch any of the trailers, though. All I knew that it was a creature feature. Beast was released this past weekend in August of 2022, directed by Baltazar Kormakur, starring Idris Elba and Charlotte Copley. And like I said, I really didn't go into this movie knowing a whole bunch other than that it was a movie where Idris Elba fights a lion. And usually I do enjoy these type of man versus giant animal films, so went ahead and watched it. So let's go ahead and get started. Starting off with the good, and there's actually a lot to enjoy in this movie. Now, this movie's not an absolute masterpiece by any means, but it's still a lot of fun. Idris Elba gives a very good performance in this movie. I really liked his character. I thought that there was a little bit of a depth to the character of Idris Elba, and I liked the emotion that he brought to the scenes that needed it. And you can tell that there's definitely a background to this character, a bit of a tragic backstory that's mentioned a couple times throughout the runtime of this film, and I thought that they did a really good job semi-exploring that, but not putting it to the forefront, still making him the character that he is in present day. And Charlotte Copley is an actor that you don't really see a whole bunch, but when he does show up, he absolutely knocks it out of the park, and this movie's no exception. I love Charlotte Copley. He's one of my personal favorite underrated actors, and he's usually the best part of everything he's in, whether it's Hardcore Henry, District 9, The A-Team, Free Fire. He's just an absolutely amazing actor, and he brings this energy that I haven't really seen any other actor bring to a role. And although I do think Idris Elba was better than Charlotte Copley in this movie, Charlotte Copley still does an amazing job, and I just really love his friendship with Idris Elba. I liked these few little moments where they're just sitting around talking, and it's just a lot of it's just some really good scenes, just these two guys talking. They've known each other for years, and you can believe their friendship and their history together just by watching these scenes. It's like these two old friends reuniting. And then the two girls who play Idris Elba's daughters, they both do a terrific job. I really liked both of them, and I'd really like to see more from them as actresses later on down the road. I think that they have a very promising career ahead of them after this movie. And then those are really the only characters in this movie that really get much to do. There's a few nameless actors who show up here and there sporadically, but Charlotte Copley, Idris Elba, and Idris Elba's daughters are really the only four characters you're meant to really focus on in this movie, and I really liked all four of them. And like I said, at the core, this is a man versus giant animal film, and at this one, it's Idris Elba versus a lion. Now, you got movies like The Meg with Jason Statham versus a shark, or Crawl with the alligators, or The Shallows with another shark. This is a subgenre that normally doesn't have a whole bunch of films in it, but when you do get one, it's just a lot of fun, and this movie is definitely a lot of fun. I really liked the action sequences involving the lion. I liked the fight between Idris Elba and the lion. I'll get a little bit more on that later, but I did really like the final confrontation between them. And I just really liked the emotion to this movie as well. I've mentioned you can feel the emotion off of Idris Elba in this movie regarding his past and what he had gone through prior to this movie. And I just really enjoyed that. I thought that the landscape was beautiful. It's on an African savanna. I just thought it was very scenic. I don't even know if that's a word. I couldn't even think of the actual word, but you know what I mean. I just really liked the whole scenery with the African savanna. And that's about all for the good. On to the bad. And with these creature features, there's definitely going to be some stuff I wasn't a fan of. First of all, some characters in this movie, not pointing fingers, but they make some absolutely dumb decisions. Which, most of the time in films like this, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a creature feature, people are going to make stupid decisions. But it is a constant thing for some characters in this movie, to the point where it's infuriating. I'm like, okay, just kill them off at this point, they deserve it. And it drags the movie down just a little bit. And then there's a few things that you really have to suspend disbelief. Like, there's a part where the lion gets set on fire and it comes back basically unscathed with a couple burn marks. I'm like, no, that would have killed it. I don't care how tough that lion is. And then also the final confrontation between Idris Elba and the lion kind of just ends. I don't know if the studio mandated a certain runtime for this movie or what it was, but it kind of just ends. There's really no full conclusion. It just cuts to a different scene and then the movie's over. I don't know what they were doing with that, but like I said, it was probably just studio wanting an hour-and-a-half runtime, which is perfectly fine. Also, the CGI on the lion in a couple of scenes, kind of shoddy, but I can forgive that because I just like the fact that studios are relying less on actually using animals in films. It's a very good thing to do, to stop abusing animals to make films, and I just really appreciate that. So I can forgive the CGI. They're still banging out some details in the film industry because they're not using animals anymore, so it's perfectly fine. But that's about all for the bad. Moving on to the final thoughts, and I just really enjoyed this movie. It's not perfect whatsoever. It's just a fun creature feature. It's not as good as The Grey with Liam Neeson, but it's, like I said, just a lot of fun. Beast is a really dumb fun movie and had a great performance from Idris Elba, and I'm just going to go ahead and give it an 8 out of 10. That was my thoughts on Beast. Have you seen this movie? If you have, let me know down in the comments what you thought about it. If you have not, what's your favorite Idris Elba film? What's your favorite creature feature film? As always, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.